Hi everyone, this is Professional High Priestess. I'm here to do all science divination. It's going to be timestamped. Thank you so much. Check for the element in your sun, moon, rising. You'll find out what you need to do. I'm going to do alternative divination on Patreon. I already did more. Did all of them for the month. The Libra one, I'm going to repost it. Was the wrong link. Then what's going to happen is you guys are going to get the rest of the readings for the month. So if you guys want to go see the rest of the signs, I'll post them up there. So that's what I'll do because I know some people wanted to also get a reading, but I'll do that. And then I also wanted to just show you guys how the new divination boards that I made. And the way that this works is the high priestess of certain divination systems will give you different designs to pull down here and different tools and things like that in order to help raise the consciousness and vibration of the planet, and so that new trees and plants can grow and people can change and warfare can stop and life can go towards peace. So I've been downloading a whole lot of these because it's that time right now, and I'm going to be doing some divinations for each of the science office these boards as well too. So let's go ahead and get started. When I used to carry, and now some of you guys are like, can you use anything to divinate? No, but there are certain things that can divinate, like this crystal can divinate, and these cowrie shells can divinate, and this board right here can divinate, and these can also divinate. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. Let's go get started with the cowrie. Let's start with the fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And I realize how important divination is to providing readings for you all because I have divination systems, different ones that I tap in with. One of my favorite ones is the cowrie one. My higher self or the higher self of my mate will show up and will start to go out and put out the cowrie, and then I read the divination. It's so dope, right? And then another interface that I have is like a poll where I can go in and look, and there will be images that will be seen. Another one is like not a void zone, but an in void zone, where you go in and you're able to see in a very clear outline different divination things, like people can't interfere in different places. There's a whole lot of things that you can do. So number divination, all that. So I love the different divination systems that I have available to me. That's why I'm happy to like show them to you guys as well. And also too, there are such thing as personal divination boards. These are not a personal divination boards. Those are my hydrants. But some of those my hydrants are personal divination boards. And I enjoy like drawing them. A lot of times I just do like a lot of times I just do the background and stuff like that that I want to put on bigger canvas. But these I'm also turn into like divination things that people can go ahead and get and use for themselves. They're really dope. I really like this one. And this one too is for the awareness of the psychic warfare and its impact on the material warfare and existential existence and physical existence, and then also to the poison that is curated for going into that space. Okay. So here we have 8 for fire, and then here, let me get so like I said, knowing that divination is important, I do it every day. I'm happy to bring systems to you guys. I have a lot of different interfaces. There's several interfaces, several systems, all different type of things. Some systems don't apply to this planet or even this universal system. There's a lot that goes on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So there's 8 and 8, and this system is the category system, and you have to have an akasha for water divination. There's water divination, fire divination, earth divination, air divination. And some people are like, why does this matter? Because it is a type of technology that you can use in order to see other technologies that are being used on you or influencing you or that you have and that you can upgrade and things like that. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using here. This side is the feminine, that's blank, and then this side is the masculine that has this curve. And they are gendered. So there are specific crafts to gender. There are specific divination systems that are gendered, like male and female. You can mix them with a color, male and female shape, texture, patterning, etc. In what order, all of that, male and female. That's how you have to bring it in with the divination. So that's another aspect of this system for those of you guys who want to know. All right. And then this again is from the Mayan people, but this is from the higher priestess. So it's not necessarily the Mayan folks; it's their higher selves, right? And that is a culture that still exists, that still operates, and it's just not here on planet Earth. They have a different planet, and it's odd because I have been able to access these realms and worlds, and people be like, huh? But then when I bring down the proof and things like this, it's like, yeah, that makes so much sense. So also tuning yourself to the new reality of what is, and the fact that their tools are accessible to us now. Certain type of plants that I've wanted to download and use, I'm able to do that. I've activated even like old plants that don't grow on the planet by mixing other plants together and then activating spiral functions, which bring new molecules and stuff like that, right? I'm able to do that because I was working with these people and they give me access and they've supported me and helped me and I've helped them as well. And these divination boards, this one is for the highest high priestess, but these divination boards they create, and there's different ones. There's so many different ones. They have ones that look just like this. There's one that looks like this. It's a high priestess. This board is so funny. I have this in my house, right? And high priestess is all around. I put my laptop on here and she goes with my phone. I'll put like my phone and she'll sees my phone. I'll put things and she'll see. I'll put my art stuff and she'll like get stuff for herself. I'll put food and everyone gets to eat like a family and everyone loves it. And it's so funny because she went in my computer and got on OnlyFans because they don't know about the internet and stuff like this. Because in their place they can just press on and they have a screen where they can enter any portal and see into any portal, right? And she saw OnlyFans, she saw Instagram, she saw what you guys were doing, she saw Fashion Nova, she saw everything. And some of you guys may be angry at what you're getting right now, but that wasn't me, that was her. She saw everything because I put my laptop on the board here. So it's so fun too, the hyperdimensional reality and how it translates and how I was like, ooh, that's so synchronistic. So I watch what I put on this board a lot of the time. It's not like it's not a tablecloth. I watch what I put on this board, and if I'm eating, I have a mat, and then I make sure I give them like what they want to eat and stuff like that. And a lot has gotten exposed. Like I'll have different plants or fruits on my plate, and they'll see different things. Like, oh, I know they're people. Oh, so you're the one that's been playing with me in space. Like stuff like that comes out, or oh, I know your people, or oh, you made this new plant. We can use this to grow this and do that and that. We can use this for beauty products. There's a lot of that goes on. It's so much fun. So um, there's a little bit about that. So now let's get into the divination for fire signs, okay? So now let's read for fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and we'll go ahead and timestamp. So we'll timestamp from the top to fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So let's get started. Let's just after Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Let's just after Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Let's just after Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I just hear something about retribution. I see that there is going to be a final conclusion and a final awareness of something that you already knew, but somebody tested like a theory here, and the theory has like you know fully manifested itself as true. So I feel like somebody here is did follow their own scientific method and got a different result. And then there was a scientific method that was already put forth in terms of how to interact with somebody or something or in a place or with an object or whatnot, and that person didn't follow that code because when you follow that code, you already know what the outcome is or what it already is. And then somebody decided they wanted to make their own outcome. Something has imploded here. And now there's this retribution moment here, and there's a regret moment here where something is coming. There's a realization that's here. And also, too, when I'm reading this board, it says that there is going to be an awareness of the ways in which there has been a manipulation of elements of the psychic manner. What needs to be known here is that there is going to be a moment where this psychic poison reverses for tampering with the psychic senses of another. Somebody's ability to make proper decisions for themselves, proper financial decisions, health decisions, sexual decisions, and emotional decisions and relational decisions was tampered with completely. There was impacts in other realms of their existence and it traveled into far places. So there's going to have to be a rectification in this imbalance. Now that this imbalance has come to a full awareness, there's going to be feelings of specific intensity, of specific sensitivity, and of specific reoccurrence as there comes a time where the individual realizes what was done to them, going through certain type of stages of grief. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here too, and they said that there's 7. All right. So now that there's been that realization and transformation in the grief process, there's going to also be a realignment in the consciousness to become aware of the higher bodies and higher realities and higher minds that created the situation that are only here to just tell you that at the end of the day, the situation was supposed to teach you about your higher mind, your higher soul, your higher physical body, and your higher relations and higher existences that are impacted by the one reality that you're currently most present in. That's what I'm seeing here. And there's there's a realization that as time goes on, you are going to realize that you made the right decision by engaging in these acts day by day, making sure that those they're in your relationships and staying true to the word that you know that you learned in this new reality, and that this new reality will continue on into existence. So that's what I'm seeing here for fire signs. And something I see here is very interesting is what I see here that's very interesting is that this energy is was causing some type of psychic like this stuff in the body was like very somatic, and now that I'm like seeing that, it's like there is like a leaving of a skin, like a shedding, and that's where this energy comes in and says there's going to be a shedding of a skin, and then this energy says as the energy is shedding in that reality and you feel it in your ESP systems, you're going to start to like play with your own element, like sitting there meditating in fire and air and water and earth and electricity and steam and vapor and liquid and different viscosities and air of different like diffusion rates, things like that. You're going to be playing in your own energy, like let me meditate and like scrub this energy out of myself. You know, when you watch things on YouTube or different TikTok or Instagram, and it's like they're scraping something or cutting up soap, like oh ASMR, like oh it's satisfying. You're going to be going through those moments energetically here. That's what I'm seeing here, and that's going to be that's also represented by this hydrogen energy here too, on this end, this one. So that's what I'm seeing here on this board, and then also too, when it comes to the calorie, like it's the number, it's also configuration and things like that. Also the energy that they give off, right? And then how you can then articulate the intelligence of what they're putting out here. So that's what I'm seeing for you, fire signs. Thank you so much. All right, let's go ahead and go to air signs. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Messages for 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 air signs. Messages for air signs. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, dissipation. Zoom, zoom, and I like to fly away. Hey, baby, I like to fly away. And energy has to fly away and it will move. And what I'm seeing here is that there has been like a pest or a nug that it's going to be like abated. But it's like when you have to go into those realms, you don't want to go in there like, I don't want to do something that's going to make me feel like I was a bad person for a long period of time. I see there being like some type of like, moment where you're like, I can do something different. I can go one path or another path, but either way, I have to get a message across. That's what I'm seeing, air sign. And that message, you know, is going to initiate this zoom, zoom, right? And this energy has to like move because what I'm basically feeling is like a stuck energy and it has to get cycled out. But there's something that's trying to stop this energy from cycling out because it's benefiting off this energy. And I sense a real energy that's invoking like this, like I see this like 1920s type geisha energy running a body of somebody that's like all into their shoes and their clothes and their makeup and Instagram and TikTok and my nails and la 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 and detail la la. But really like just all about destruction and chaos, but vampiric, very vampiric and very like dark. And I see it like somebody coming to a realization on one end, that's one decision, right? That's one end. And then other two, a masculine force that has no force of its own. So it's conniving and it's running bodies of your homies and stuff like that, or your boss or whatever, or a feminine energy that's very lustful, and she's being run by a spirit that's very dispossessed and la la la. And you're just seeing all these different archetypes like you're dealing with the Book of Monsters here. And then here in this, what I'm picking up on this, and what I'm seeing here is I'm looking into the water energy in terms of how this is being absorbed into your water element. And it says here there's going to be a clearing of the elements here. Then there's going to be an invoking of a new element that solidifies the transformation of the element that was released because it's new now. Then in the newness of that element, you're going to find trials and tribulations that are easily handled because this new element can handle all of it. And you're realizing that you are going to be taming, not taming, but alchemizing this element into the reality, bringing it in like day by day by day, and that there's going to be a need to like really invoke a lot of ease is from what I'm seeing here on this divination board here, and really going into more calming waters and calming elements, and even like colors, like you may even your color scheme, or just like coffee at home that's healthy, my diet getting a little bit better, nice bed sheets, cleaning my house, clean floors, like things that help bring flow to your life in small ways and big ways, cleaning my office, changing jobs. Like there's going to be like a release of these different archetypes and out of that book of monsters that bring this more flow because this new flow is coming from the transformation of elements that's happening here after the warfare. Because this warfare is here where you dealt with the toxicity that has come because somebody tried to disrupt the mother element that's right here. Like, no, you can't cross into this place. Right. Now, on this board here, too, it's like as this element continues to grow, new elements are going to come forth, and there's going to be a need to continue to stay in what you know to be true consistently. Consistently. And that there's going to continuously be an invoking of new opportunities and new way of resources and new everything because of the invoking of this force and maintaining of it and growing of it consistently. And then that ease coming back, all that, right? This reminds me like a spiritual bath being taken. It's really hot, all types of chemicals and colors and stuff like that in the water getting in there. And then things coming out and being removed in this area where you've removed your energy from this static. It's like dead. It's I would say not dead, it's necrotized. It's ear necrotized, meaning that your force is out of it, and any force that was giving it any life is out, and now we can go down the drain. Whatever entity or accumulation of energies is there that's been maybe in your energy because of this book of monsters type of like the energy that I'm picking up on here, right? That's what I have for you, air signs, and there's going to be ease. Yeah, ease and transformation. And I see that there's a masculine force that's going to help invoke ease in certain areas. And I see that there's a feminine force that is going to be put into position to, I would say this, not feminine or just even masculine. I'll say there's going to be forces that come to ahead that force something in a specific direction forever, and that can't be undone. And that's what I'm seeing there. So I see it mounting up for a lot of people like that, and also a consensus on it's happening for everyone at the same time. That's what I'm picking up on here too. Like, oh, it's everyone all at the same time. I feel like there's a mass clearing going on, and everyone's gonna get on the same page. So it's like when you open those history books and like, oh, the enlightenment area, right? There's a little bit of something like that in your friends group, your family group, your church, things like that, and something's gonna grow and adapt. And it's like, all right, so that's what I have. So let's go to water signs. I see something about youngness, something being young or someone being young. I see the beautiful aspects of youth being looked at, and the more aspects of youth being looked at in a situation here. I see somebody enacting a certain level of youthness that's very like, oh, that's not cute. You think it's cute to be young, but that's not young. That's just delusional. Don't blame that type of foolishness on being young, because even when you're young, you have wisdom, and that's even a certain type of wisdom, right? So there's different categories of wisdom and different categories of foolishness, and a lot of them are getting unpacked here. Water sign is what I'm seeing. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. What messages do you have for Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio? Messages for Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. What messages do you have for Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio? Right. So I see something getting scattered and broken and dismantled here, like a door getting kicked in. It's like when you're going to demolish a house, and it's like so easy because everything, the plywood is like all molded down, and it's all eaten through when it was probably empty or something like that. Blah blah blah. All that's happening right here, and it's just shattered. And then on one hand, I see that there's a recollection here too, a remembrance and a resurgence, and like a complete solidification in a certain area. I see something coming up that was. I see like an energy that is coming forward, and in this energy there is an opportunity to see and know a lot of things, but the energy here is very much like alive and sentient, and there's like a awareness of things that need to be given more care and attentiveness to. And I see that there could have been a person, place, or thing or situation that should have been given more care and it wasn't. And there's going to be come to a decision where there's going to be a moment where there's like a realization of that their care should have been given more to something and it wasn't. And then there's a moving on into a different direction, and then a straightening out of whatever was causing confusion to have created that situation, and coming to the realization of that there's more to come in a situation, and that whether this continues to stay straight or goes into curve, there's a certain level of firmness that can handle that. But like I'm seeing too that in this realization, there's energies that are emotional that are still around, that are being aroused. Somebody's using some type of like force to open doors and open up energies and open up emotions. I see somebody actually opening up emotions and creating different like concoctions here, and they're poisoning several people with all these dots here too, and saying that there's psychic elements that are being invoked here that are causing chaos and harm for several people all at once. The force that is opening up these doors and opening up these chasms and creating these different holes and fractioning in energies, they are creating a mesh net, and they think that they are penetrating a universal force that they think they're controlling. That's not true. They're bringing forth energies that are mimicking a universal force that use you to tamper with the universal force of others to hopefully, in the hopes of getting to where you think you're going. And there's a realization of being duped for tampering with some force or some energy that is now ricocheting back. And I see that this force that has invoked this poison or this toxicity or this nonsense is coming to the realization that this was unnecessary completely. And there was something that was invoked from everything that was done, and now it is here. And it's like somebody's coming to the realization that what you put out is what you will get back. And there's that. And then on one hand, what there is a continuous knowing that there is borders and boundaries that cannot be crossed, right? And that's what I'm seeing here, water sign. And I'm seeing that there's also like in this fractioning and door kicking in and stuff like that, and the energy being recollected here and moving forward and knowing worth and knowing there's opportunities and knowing that there's more and knowing that there's a whole bunch of other stuff, that this energy that's fractured is in a space where it's going to continue to understand the depth of its own depravity and loss and just like nothingness, but not nothing like, oh, I'm here and I'm nowhere. Like, oh, nothing. Like, oh, you're nothing. Like no purpose. Acting out in no purpose. And that when thinking about things like time and la 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 la, logistics and la la la. But doors kicked in, foundation, security, privacy, things like that. And now coming to this realization of what is there to do next. Right? And then these psychic doors that were open being closed will return to sender. And then these right here are saying that there's going to be a force that's very, 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 very powerful spiritually that's going to come, and it's going to clear and wash something away. And then there's also another feeling of that, oh, ASMR, like, oh, satisfaction type thing with this layer being pulled all the way back and scrubbed and cleared out. So, just for water sign. Thank you. Water signs, that's what I have for you. Now we're on earth sign, earth signs. I'm an earth sign. 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 Whoa, 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 whoa. I want to make house music because I feel like I sit and sing silly things all day. I can turn them into songs. Let's make a song. So let's continue. So this is going to be for Earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Okay. Mm, 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 mhm. 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 What's just for Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo? Oh. Mm, mhm. Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Oh. Mhm. What's just for Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo? Oh, so there seems to be extreme clarity and insight in the situation here, and then actions taken forward to facilitate next steps that just are going to bring abundance, happiness, and peace. And I see that there's just going to be a complete dismantling of anything that was bringing otherwise. I also see too that there's like an engagement and the awareness that there's always more ways to grow and excel in the situation. I see that there has been maybe some like type of, I wouldn't even say chaos, but just hiccups in a process that give you opportunity to grow and assess and then pivot and move forward in good ways. There's like an adjusting, right? It's like when you're in a plane and you're like, oh, going up, and you're plateauing, and you're going up again, plateauing. There's some of that going on here too. And then I will say that what kind of like comes up to mind with this is like that there's going to then be a force behind that that takes it like higher, 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 right? And then there's going to be a consistency in the flow right here. And that was going to continue on with no interruptions. And I see that anything that has tried to bring a disruption, it's not about something bringing disruption. It's about like any type of like inner systems or mechanisms that we're not moving properly. There could be outside influence. There's internal influence. There's collective and accumulated influence being utilized. There's manipulated influence. There's ancestral influence. There's higher self influence. There's mate influence. There's children influence. Right? There's DNA influence. There's chemical makeup, all that type of stuff, influence, physical body health, all that type of stuff. And then there's like continuing to the beyond, like what steps have you already set moving forward to ensure that this structure stays intact and in tune to protect as well and diagnose and everything like that with the whole help of the Most High. That's also something that I'm seeing here too. That the question, like, am I in the place where God is going to keep on bringing, and what are the things that God will take away, and also see you going into different, like maybe, oh, let me see, let me test my own mind, see where I need to clean up, let me see my own sickness or where I need to clean up stuff and like take out any mold or clean up any like la 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 those type of things, right? Cleaning out your mental space and let me see what God does not like. You may feel things like feedback. You're getting feedback. That's what I'm saying here. And at one point, the feedback, it was always here. It was just for you to have invoked that. And recognizing that there are elements here that are always going to give you the advantage, not advantage, that are always going to give you the awareness that the Most High is going to complete any equation here and restore any system here. So I see that coming to realize that you have something like that. Earth signs that was very interesting. Usually, well, 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 well. Are you good with God? Where's your akasha? It's my akasha, and I need it now. Because then the tapping in with God is like, why do I do that? Where's your akasha? Who's your mate? What are you doing to clean up? What's your work? What's your purpose? How are you filling your akasha? Akasha? How are you helping other people fulfill their akasha? What is going on here? Are you doing Irgunonai? Are you with Zwelzonai? AKA, are you on the team of God or are you on the team of the demon? Now, there's all that. That's what I'm saying. It's very interesting. There's a lot going on here. All right, Earth Signs, thank you so much. I hope to see you all soon. Then Patreon, you guys can get the rest of the readings. Bye.